everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of C14 Dating. So it's festival time. Where should we go? Okay, so we've seen this one, we've seen them, and we've done the face painting station, so I guess the museum is the only place that we haven't gone yet? We'll go with that. Inside, I could see individuals and small groups wandering through the tiny museum. Many stopped to stare at the Neanderthal remains before concluding their tour. Upstairs, I heard voices and a few giggling children. Curious, I headed to the second floor, greeted by people examining rocks, the majority clustered around the obviously shiny and glittery ones. Well, if it made geology more accessible to people, and shiny things never hurt. Hendrik was explaining something to a few visitors. When he finished, he politely excused himself and greeted me cheerfully. You're back. I added more to the collection after you left, so feel free to look around. Nice. Where did the extra trays come from? I had a few spares in the trunk. I mean, you never know, and you'll need an amphibolite or on short notice. Let me get this straight. Every single piece here is something you've collected? Nearly all of it. Some were presents from colleagues who went on faraway excursions, but most I've obtained myself. He directed me to one of the trays. Like right here. This talc is from Morocco, along with this selenite. What were you doing in Morocco? Surveying for oil shale deposits, energy company job. Money's good, but in the end I prefer the archaeological side. And this halite over here. For every rock Hendrik identified, there was a story or location tied to it. Whenever he finished, he would grin at me with such excitement and passion that I couldn't help but ask another question. When I noticed a few people waiting nearby, looking like they had burning questions, I eased myself out of the conversation. I guess I took up more of his time than I thought. The rest of the day whizzed by due to the constant hustle and bustle. While the guests were leaving, I tripped upstairs, wondering if Hendrik would need help putting away all of the trays. I paused when I saw him chatting with someone. Rosemary stood by the stairs, watching the two intently. I curiously approached her first. Do you know her? No, it's not like that. It's just that she's obviously flirting with him and he's oblivious to the whole thing. Maybe it's because they're talking about rocks right now. Nah, he's like this all the time. I can't tell if it's a Hendrik thing or an Geologist thing? Right. I guess it is that rock talk after all. Thankfully, she mistook my save for an innocent guess. It was probably for the better, since I could tell that she didn't mean to slip out that information. After an awkward laugh, she addressed Hendrik, then casually joined in their conversation. Well, it was more like Hendrik being the translator, and it sounded like they had to close the museum soon. I can't believe it. Ace Geologist was a pun this whole time? No, I can believe it. Once everything was tidy upstairs, Hendrik asked if I wanted to help take down the extra lights and decorations in the cave. Together with Rosemary and Kyler, we successfully stockpiled the cutouts and wrapped up the strung lights. Is that everything? Seems so. Thanks for helping out. Switching off the lights now. I watched Hendrik as he flicked off multiple switches in the wet screen room, causing the cave to grow dimmer and dimmer until it was completely black. Can you imagine being a Neanderthal, walking into a cave for the first time? What thoughts they had as they took their first steps inside? These rock formations are pretty cool. Ugh, no. Hendrik, you have no imagination. Melissa, what do you think? Me? I squinted my eyes and stared into the abyss. Well, it's dark and scary that it had some fascinating rocks. Perfect shelter. No, we're going with fascinating rocks this time. We've been saving it for him. Not the stalagmites and stalactites were interesting to look at. You're no better than Hendrik. I like this sample size so far. Like a starless. Okay, we've seen this part. I've read through this a lot now, so I'm going to go ahead and skip it. Okay, so we got in a little mini cutscene here, so I'm going to go ahead and start. Like every Thursday, the students celebrated harder than usual. Party music filled the air and people danced and there were groups chatting outside. Of course, I moved my body to the beat. When the song ended, I politely excused myself from the dance floor for a quick break. It's past noon back home. Mom's probably replied to my email by now. I entered the lab and leaned over the chair, positioned before my laptop. It would only take a few moments to read.
Checking your email?
I turned and Hendrik waved from the doorway before entering. I half expected him to fetch his coat and keys hanging on the door rack. Mom replied, "Already retiring for the night?"
Soon, Rosemary and Sherry are enjoying their chat, and it's my turn to drive. Planning to rejoin the dance floor?
Yeah, maybe. It's fun, but it's not really my scene, since it ain't got that swing.
Right. We've touched upon it a few times. How you love those old dances in jazz. Feel like dancing to some German swing instead? I've got a few minutes to spare. Maybe you can demonstrate a few moves for me. I enjoyed the little cakewalk you showed me before.
Ah, for a moment I thought you were going to ask me to dance with you.
Cutie. And dance with this awkward look again? I think I embarrassed myself enough the first time.
He grabbed his laptop and we headed upstairs, away from the noisy music. Computer set up, I scrolled through his playlist, which was a mix of French, English, and Dutch. I was pleasantly surprised to find many familiar artists and marveled at his selection. You've got the cream of the crop right here. I can't exactly Lindy Hop solo, but I'd be more than happy to Charleston.
Charleston? Is that the dance where you flail your arms and you kick out like mad?
It's a beautiful and refined dance full of grace, beat, and bounce. And yes, that's the one. I need something super energetic, fast and full of trumpets. Let's see. Oh, this'll work. I kicked off my socks and moved to the center of the floor. I wouldn't perform complicated moves, but at least I wouldn't be sliding around like a skater on an icy pond. When the music started, I launched into the familiar kicks and swings of my arms. It was as though I was back at the jam sessions, competing against fellow dancers for the audience's undivided attention and applause. My increasingly higher kicks gained momentum and I shuffled on the floor, spinning and improvising little variations. I rooted my feet and shimmied my shoulders forward, giving Hendrik a playful wink before returning to the basic kicks. Entertained, he chuckled and clapped in response, encouraging me to hop faster. When the song finished, I was panting, arms outstretched and heart pounding. The rush felt wonderful and I took a bow.
That was amazing. I mean, you'd think it'd look goofy flailing around wildly, but there's a precision to it. And you look like you're having so much fun. It's hard not to get caught up in the energy.
With more people, you get swept up in it. You improvise and try to get a reaction from the audience. I shifted my tone to a tour guide impression. This 1920s dance was once considered too scandalous and promiscuous, associated with flappers and cabarets. It was banned from many dance halls. I basically gave you the old-fashioned equivalent of twerking.
Equivalent of twerking? Oh boy. I think I prefer that version over the modern dances.
Then you'd prefer this.
Oh, dancing, Hendrik. Yeah!
Since the music was still going, I grabbed Hendrik's hand and pulled him toward me until we were in the middle of the floor. While he recovered from my spontaneous action, I held his hand up with our elbows bent, my other hand resting on his shoulder. His expression softened as he studied our dancing position. After some hesitation, his left arm slipped around my back. We started swaying side to side, barely moving. It was a huge shift from the first time we danced, when we politely avoided each other's touch and remained at a comfortable distance.
Hope you don't mind my two left feet. Now I'm really self-conscious after your performance.
I inwardly applauded his tiny attempt to shuffle his feet, and even if it caused his socks to graze against my toes. You're doing fine. Besides, I thought it'd be more fun if you participated too, instead of being a spectator. Or I'd hope so, at least. I know dancing isn't your thing. Thank you for accepting my invitation twice now.
If it's with you, I don't mind.
I felt pressure on my toes, and Hendrik's eyes widened as he shuffled away.
Sorry, did I get you with my left foot or my other left? Hendrik, are you in the museum? We should probably head off now.
We stepped back, and Hendrik hollered toward the stairs.
Coming, Rose. I'll be right down.
Hendrik cut the music and closed his laptop.
I'll see you tomorrow, Melissa. Thanks for the dance, and have a good night.
You too. Drive safely.
Always. Aw, that was so cute. I knew that they were going to get interrupted, though. Oh, well. It was still adorable anyways. But I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.